All right. There's a reason I didn't write her in the script.
She's snarky.
She is very snarky.
Then why didn't you write her in the script?
Because I had Sabrina.
Thank you.
We didn't need any more snark in this room.
Yeah, we do.
Oddly
Snarky
enough,
McSnarkison.
Oddly enough, she barely appears in my favorite episode of the show. Season 4, Episode 10, Midnight. Plays out like a claustrophobic, paranoid alien mind control nightmare. Really intense, superb script, standout performances from even the supporting cast. I guess ultimately the best baddies are the Daleks. Yes, they can be corny looking and sounding, but the history, the backstory that goes along with them, coupled with what seems sometimes Doctor's cockiness aside, an almost dreadful fear and an angry hatred of these things from the Doctor, personally make them, in my opinion, the number one villains. Where are the commas, John? Where are the commas?
Well, interesting fact on the Daleks. And the Daleks are essentially what saved Doctor Who when they were first introduced.
We learned that in the boardroom when we flew there.
Yeah, but BBC was ready to cancel Doctor Who as a show because of the viewers weren't there until the Daleks came, and then I guess everybody was bit by the bug of the Daleks, and it's made Doctor Who take off.
Sure, futuristic bad guy. Why
Yeah.
not?
You mean the salt and pepper things?
Yeah, the salt and pepper things.
Yeah, the R2-D2 looking things.
Oh, I loved him in Star Trek.
Before R2, they were way before R2D2 though.
They were way before R2D2.
Donna says, Tom Baker, who was the fourth Doctor Who, was my favorite as a child, and David Tennant as an adult. I think the Weeping Angels are the best villains. Don't blink.
I have to agree with that. I absolutely love the Weeping Angels. And I will not walk past any statue of a person anymore in my life.
The Weeping Angels seem really easy to beat, though. I mean,
Not when they surround you.
No,
They're like
'cause
those
if they-
little ghosts from Mario.
Well, see, if they surround you and they
Well, they
open their
look at each
eyes,
other.
then if they see each other, then they can't move.
Yeah.
So they can't even look at each other. The doctor describes them as the loneliest creatures in the universe because they can never look at each other.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
even lonelier than Pauly Shore.
Well, Pauly Shore can have people look at him, and he can look at people. And
No, people don't look at Pauly Shore.
Has anybody looked at Pauly Shore
No,
lately?
people don't
saying
look
people
at
I
Pauly
haven't seen him
Shore.
do anything in years.
But I'm not saying people do look at him.
And if you take your eyes off Pauly Shore, he will attack you.
And that's how Encino Man was made.
He's in the juice.
I once saw Pauly Shore in Vegas at like Caesar's Palace, and my mother literally went, "Oh my God, it's Pauly Shore!" And then he was just like, "Oh God," and he left real fast because he was just visiting. And so my mom goes, "I don't know why I got so excited. I don't even like him."
Because I think you would get excited over any celebrity if you if they were in the same room. I don't think you have to actually like the celebrity to be super excited.
I think she was just more impressed with herself that she recognized him.
Yeah,
And she was the only one who
She was
did.
the only one.
Well, we kind of were like that in Hollywood. We went to Rodeo Drive, and there was one of those tour buses going down, and they all went crazy. And this guy is standing outside the door of some shop, and he waves at him, and we're like, "Oh, it's a star! It's a star!" We didn't know.
we
who
had
he
no
was.
idea who it was, but it was still cool. Like, hey, there was a star walking down Rodeo Drive.
Really,
Some
he was
guy.
just the guy who was
Famous
running the
person.
crepe cart just up the road.
Probably, and they were all like, "Yes, crazy!"
He had to be somebody because the entire bus was crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I didn't recognize him.
Oh.
On Twitter, the Cretans Guild said, "We love the timeless Time Lord. So many friendly arguments over favorite doctor, companion, baddie, TARDIS, screwdriver, showrunner, Christmas episodes." But they didn't give us any more over who won any of those arguments. I guess we'll have to listen to their podcast.
Well, no, it's whatever arguments you have.
Well, they're a pop culture podcast, so they probably have a couple Doctor Who shows. And then Fight Director says, Tom Baker, of course. It's got to be Leela,
Lilo and Stitch?
the Roger Delgado Master.
Let me see.
Wait a minute. Isn't Leela the person from Futurama?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but that was, I think, one of the companions.
L-E-E-L-A. You're not going to be able to read my handwriting. I can barely
It's one
read
of the
it.
earlier companions.
And favorite show, I'll settle for Robots of Death. Who's Leela?
One of the earlier companions.
Oh, I was trying to figure out what I wrote. His Fight Director's tweet came in super late. All right, well, that's your responses on social media. Let's get to your phone calls. Surprisingly, we got a lot of phone calls on Doctor Who. Lots of fans out there for Doctor Who.
She was the companion of the Fourth Doctor.
That's what I said. Well, I didn't, I
For
guess,
a
name
year.
her. I guess I didn't name her doctor she was with, but
All
She
right.
was with Tom Baker.
First phone call is from Chris Green of Gravity Beard.
Hello, this is Brooder. My favorite doctor is Dr. Gravity Beard. Gotcha.
Oh, I got the phone calls mixed up. That wasn't Christopher W. Green from Gravity Beard. That was Brooder. I don't think Brooder watches the show.
Doctor Who?
The TARDIS.
I don't think he does. I don't think Brooder does anything but sit there to wait to call her phone to put us down.
I didn't really put us down that time.
No, he didn't, surprisingly.
Speaking of putting things down, let's revisit this beer cooler that we picked up at the End of the World Tavern.
JL's beer cooler, it's cooler than you think. JL's beer cooler, it's cool enough to drink. It's cool enough to drink, yeah.
What is this again, JL?
It is Bell's Two-Hearted Ale. It's a nice American IPA.
I'm going to start since you ended your sentence with that. It is not a nice American IPA. It is not good. It tastes like it's been soaked in two different hearts. Both those hearts that were bad, evil people. The taste did grow on me a little bit, but it's still not something I'd ever pick up again. I'm going to give this a 1. Sabrina?
Yeah, it was. I don't know if it was just because it exploded on us, but it was a rough start.
Yeah, it has a very harsh beginning.
It was the end of the beer before it even began.
Yeah.
It's like the Cybermen all shook them up.
You probably did.
That's what they get for
Yeah.
switching that highlight tab.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I finished it, but I think I only finised it because
Half of it's on
only
the floor.
half of it was drinkable. I did not. I don't know. I might just. It grew on me towards the end. I did get a little bit of the taste of the grapefruit, I guess, in there, but it was not. I would not go out and buy it personally.
You never do. Usually Chris or I, but and that's only for special occasions. Chris does it, and that's usually my highlight.
Who bought like 2 weeks ago?
Me.
3 weeks ago?
Me.
No.
That's why it's JL's beer cooler. I buy all the beer. You just suggest.
And you owe me money
No.
for that. What was the one that I picked up? It was the other
You bought
AP,
wine once.
The other APA.
Yeah, it was in a bottle.
Yeah.
It was like racers. No, it was
No,
the,
it was
dog
Dog Head
Reef
Brewery.
Donkey.
Reef Donkey.
Yeah, see? Ha!
Well, that's not
In your
helping with the
face.
number for this particular
It's a 1.
beer. Okay.
You couldn't have just started off with that.
Yeah. You can hash out the finances after the mics go off.
I'll get you next week.
All right. So we all know how I feel about APAs and IPAs and anything that ends with a PA.
Even Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
How do you
Sorry.
feel about the AAA?
I've never had to use them, so I don't have an opinion.
Okay.
And surprisingly, maybe it's because I am evil-hearted, Chris, but I didn't find this one to be as terrible of an IPA or APA as some of the ones I've had to drink.
Swerve.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 2.
Are you just saying that because it's
No, I've been
so
able...
far remotely related to Doctor Who? I mean, it's related to Doctor Who in the fact that
2 hearts.
2 hearts are listed on the label, but other than that, it has nothing to do with Doctor Who whatsoever.
Maybe it's just because it's a Doctor Who episode and I'm just
might
happy.
be.
Maybe. I don't know. But I'm going to give it a 2. I still wouldn't run out and drink it. But if it was at a party, I could see me drinking too.
All right, Beer Master.
Well, I do love my IPAs, but
Uh-oh.
this one, not so much.
That's probably why I liked it, because you all hated it.
It was okay. It was all right. Had a weird aftertaste at the end.
I think it's the grapefruit.
It might have been. I don't know. I've had grapefruit IPAs before, and they're never usually like that. I don't know. Overall, flavor, drinkability-wise, wasn't a big fan of. So overall, I'd have to agree with Laura and give it a 2.
Surprising.
I know. I agreed with Laura.
And you gave it a 2. I'm surprised. Is it because it exploded all over you? Did it have something to do
that
with
might have
it?
actually had an impact on our taste overall. Like the fact that it all exploded, like all 4 cans exploded.
Yeah, and they weren't mishandled.
No, they weren't mishandled, anything like that.
Yeah.
I think the Cybermen just played a mean joke on us.
I think so. Those Cybermen are horrible.
I expect that out of the Daleks.
Cola, never run away, never gone away. Drink Cola, never went away, never went away. Drink Cola, boom.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Aren't they human?
Well,
No, they're
not
more
anymore.
human than human.
They're not humans per se anymore. They're cyborgs now.
But that explains their evil being.
Yeah. Well, they have no emotion, so it's not like they're connected to anyone.
They're connected to each other.
Yeah, but they don't care if they lose one of them. They don't.
That's
They're
harsh.
not sad. Yeah, been a harsh script the whole night.
Just like Pauly Shore.
So Pauly Shore's not human?
Bingo.
Well, you already did the one joke, so I can't respond.
I know, we
with
can't.
that.
We can't. He only has one joke. It was an hour and a half of Sun and Love. Hey, buddy.
I'm the weasel.
Weasel.
Excuse me. He also got the Leaning Tower of Giza
That is true. Let's not
in
forget
a Goofy movie.
the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Well, anyway,
He did the voice.
we'll
of
do a Pauly Shore episode.
his friend.
So save it.
Oh, the
all
one that's
for
never
Pauly
seen
Shore
again. So
episode.
obviously
Yeah.
that character disappeared the same time as Pauly Shore.
Pretty much.
Disney made Pauly Shore disappear.
They did do his movies. It was Touchstone, I believe.
Yes, it was. You're right. Disney did
Yep.
make Pauly Shore disappear.
So sources for this episode to get rid of the Pauly Shore taste in our mouth was Doctor Who Adventures in Time and Space by Morgan Davey, Andrew Kenrick, and Rob D. Weber, Wikipedia, the BBC.co.uk website, Doctor Who, Impossible Worlds by Stephen Nicholas and Mike Tucker, Behind the Music featuring Weird Al Yankovic, and Dalek by George Mann, Justin Richards, and Kevin Scott. Sabrina, where can you find our show?
You can find us on Facebook and the official Podcast 42 Facebook group. You can find us on Spreaker, Spreaker.com, Podcast 42/Podcast 42. But you can really find us anywhere that podcasts can be found. Spotify, Apple Music, Spreaker, of course, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play. We like it if you listen to us on Spreaker or Spotify because they pay us. We're also on Podcoin. Our website is podcast42show.wordpress.com. You can find a listing of all episodes, our beer guide, and all that fun stuff there. We have an email. We like it if you email us, podcast42show@gmail.com. That's podcast42 numerically, not alphanumerically, show@gmail.com. Email us. We'll pick up those emails, read them out loud. It'll be fantastic. Great way to communicate. You can also call or text us, 321-285-5512. You don't like to talk to us on the phone and leave a message, that's fine. Bruta takes care of all of that. But you can send us a text message, and we'll read those on the air. We're part of the Podfix network. And, of course, we have our Patreon page, where you'll be able to find all of our unedited shows, and you can see how much of a mess this one was when beer exploded.
I thought it went very smoothly.
And
Smoother than the beer.
yeah, and JL thought he was better than the rest of us and thought he could open up his beer without making it explode, and then his exploded twice as much as everybody else's.
No, just the same amount.
So check us out on Patreon, Podcast 42.
If you have any pops you don't want, you can send them to JL and me.
Ooh, yeah, it's true. Funko Pop collectors.
Yes.
Yep.
I'll take them without the box, too.
Ooh, see, there you go. You got them hanging around. Your kids are playing with them. Look a little rough around the edges. It's okay. We'll take care of them for you. Send them on in.
All
If
right.
you want to do that, you can text
Email
us
at podcast.
or email us. Yep.
Yep.
At gmail.com, and we'll take those off your hands.
We'll get you to where they need to be. All right. Well, I'm Christopher DeVos.
I'm Sabrina Pierre.
JL Tros.
I'm Laura. Bye.
We never got to say hi.
Bye.
We got to say bye.
Bye-bye.
Catch ya on the flippy flop.
Stay fresh, cheese bags.
I still have no catchphrase.
All celebrity voices have been impersonated poorly. All conversations